All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order at 1:04 p.m. Could I have a roll call, please?
Beverly Napier, present.
Dave Worland present.
Cindy Boundy, present.
And Veronica Cal present. And Chaz isn't with us today, and we have Aaron here as well to support us. So I'd like to announce that the meeting is being recorded and it will be posted on the town website. Chairman's additions and deletions. I don't have anything. Aaron brought up that we can update our agenda all the way up to the time almost, right?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, as long as we post the revised agenda. So we might not really need the additions or deletions. However, that's what we've traditionally done. So maybe talk to Eric about that before we just
Yeah.
chuck it. So anyway, she didn't think that or roll call was necessary, but
Yeah, if you're in person, it's not supposed to be necessary for you to have to do a roll call.
Oh.
right,
Okay.
yeah. We've always done that on our meetings, so anyway. All right, we have two sets of minutes to look at. Let's look at January 1st, the January 22 meeting first. And then we also have, the top of, we also have February 25th, but I'm looking at the top of and it says January 22. I'm looking at the right, maybe I'm looking at look at the one that you did, Cindy, at the top.
Oh, I didn't change it. I stole that.
Okay.
And I didn't even realize that it had
It
like a
kind
date
of,
on
I
it.
thought, oh my goodness, we have two different,
Okay, so then I copied and made copies of the corrected minutes. So if you want to toss the ones that we have, and then if you could all just kindly change the date to February 26th,
what was the date? February
Um,
25.
February 25th. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had Ronnie's, didn't have the correct initials in there,
Yeah.
but she hadn't even noticed the top.
All right. So let's look at January 22nd first.
Okay.
I had a couple things. But mostly they're typo things. So, and you probably did these, Aaron, from the,
I did not. These were from Allison.
Allison did.
Yes.
Okay. ES noted. Okay, so on the second page, bottom of the second page, it said ES noted that if trucks moves forward with Blood Road and Hickory, we have the TA grant with MHP with direct assistance and would help us come up with RFP. I think it means Blood Road and West Elm because it's South Row and Hickory. So I think it's Blood Road and West Elm. Because that's the one that we had MHP looking at. So do you guys agree with that change?
Blood Road and.
West Elm Street West or West Elm Street? It must be called West Elm Street now. It used to be Elm Street West, right?
Yeah, it's, I know, I should know, I live up there. I think it's West Elm,
It's
and then it
West
turns into Lunenburg, but this is on West Elm.
West Elm.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then on the third page, there's like a bullet that starts VA asked about a vote going forward with Blood Road and West Elm. On the next line, CB made a motion to go forward.
I'm sorry, where is that?
There's a little circle about 2/3 of the way down the page.
Oh, on the third.
On the third page, yeah. And it says CB made a motion to go forward.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure why AW will, maybe Allison did that for herself so that she would remember to do that.
Could be.
And so that can be unhighlighted. I think that was all I had. Did anybody else have anything on these? Those were typos, they weren't anything more than that. Content wise, I thought it was good, so. Are you guys good with it? All right, so is there a motion to accept the minutes of January 22nd?
Aye.
With the amendments mentioned?
I move to accept the January 22nd
And is there a second?
with,
Oh, okay.
with the amendments. we just spoke of.
I'll second that.
Minutes. Sorry.
All right, all in favor? Do we
Aye.
need- Aye. We don't need to do a roll call, do we? Because we're all here. Okay. Right, and then, the minutes of the 25th,
I know, is it the 25th? I don't know.
Or is it the 26th?
The agenda says the 26th.
then it's the 20,
Is it the 26th?
the 26th.
So it's not January.
And then we go back and just. That's a Friday. We don't usually meet on a Friday.
No.
What was the date of
22nd.
this?
22nd.
February,
Oh, you're talking February.
February. I was looking at January.
Yeah, let's see. 26 it was the 26th, Monday,
Monday, the 22nd.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
26th.
Okay, so if you just. Or I can do it in. Although you said you couldn't print it, I use Google Docs, so I'm not totally proficient, obviously, with it yet. So yeah, all right, but so it's February 26th.
All right, so just the date change. I didn't have anything else in there.
Yeah, I also emailed this corrected version out to everybody, so you can just delete the first one that you got, and then the most recent one is, except for the.
Anybody else have any other changes? All right, then,
Make a motion to accept the minutes as read for the February 26th, 2024 meeting.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's our minutes. So, Erin, if you want to, take those down to Kathy and then send me the stamped copy.
Sure.
Or do you want to post them on the website or should I post them on the website?
Don't know if I can, but I can certainly see if I can.
I know I can, and I don't mind doing it, if you want to send them to me, but if you want to try it out, if you have time and want to try it out, if not, just let me know. All right. So these will get posted. All right, the next item on the agenda was the mass housing presentation. So I guess we can just move that down, and if she comes before the end of our meeting, great. If not, we'll send out whatever she sent. If she doesn't send it to all of us, Erin can send out what she comes up with for an update. So the next thing is the forestry contract. And the Board of Selectmen signed this at their last meeting.
Okay.
We have been waiting
We
for
have
it
it in
forever.
there.
I had some questions about it, Erin, that I don't know if you can answer for me, especially at the end. Because so anyway, looking through it, it's with Kyle Anderson. We're only, what, about 6 or 8 months later than we hoped to be with this. So,
A little bit more than that.
and Dave did all the interface with our forester, so. You know, if you want to give him a call and say, we now have a contract, then see if he's still interested in doing it. And
Well, I don't see why we don't just send this to him. Is it signed, I'm reading.
we have to sign it,
Right,
but other than that,
we sign it. When we send it to him, we need him to sign it, send it
And
back
send it
to
back.
us. So
yes,
what I propose is that we sign it. I have to read it first, but,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
sign it. And we send it to him, and I'll call him and say, contracts, sorry, it's a little late, on the way,
okay,
and let us know your intention and your schedule,
yeah,
you know, because we may have lost another season.
right. When did we work with him? Was it last May, June? It was around then. It was.
It was after COVID.
COVID was done. All right, so anyway, as far as the payment goes, that on the first page, the 2 and the 3, it looked right to me. If you guys want to take a minute, should we just take a minute and?
Give me.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen this.
All right,
I apologize, I didn't print out another one. I wasn't sure how many.
Don't worry
to
about
print.
I have one and you have
I
one
have one.
and they have one, so we're good.
And Eric,
And you have it up on the
this is Eric's
screen.
version, right? Eric did this? Who did this?
Adam Costa.
Oh, Adam did it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, it was
Okay.
okay by him
all right.
before.
And so just a side note, curiosity is,
Mhm.
so he spent a little time with this. Does he build the trust? How does this, I'm just curious.
I think we're a town entity and he does work for the town.
Okay, so it's
So-
not as specific.
We will see at the end of the fiscal year, because that's when the town is going to bill us, so to speak, for salary, for anything else that we've done. So the town has been paying out, so to transfer from our funds
Okay,
in will be so they could bill.
Okay.
But so far they haven't.
if this took him more than an hour,
He
it's
has
pretty
a,
straightforward. This is all boilerplate.
he has a boilerplate and all they did was fill in.
Yeah.
Mhm. He gives it to the town every year.
I don't, number 5 does not make sense to me. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. On page 2.
That should be the 25th.
No, what are you looking at?
Number 5, term of contract,
Not 25th, 2025. Is that what you mean?
yes,
Yeah,
by 2025.
yeah, I mean,
Yes.
we'd be lucky if we can get it done by then. But that's definitely a huge,
Yeah,
you know, if I was the contractor, I go, no, can't do it.
this would have been true had it happened last
Right,
year
yeah.
when we first added it. So Aaron, we're gonna need to discuss that with Aaron.
You have it, maybe I'll send it out another year.
Yeah, push it out. Number 5, the term of the contract and time for performance. Thank you for catching that.
My former life, that's all I did was read contract. Wow, if I was a contractor number 881, I'd take issue with that. If I was the contractor, we could just see what happens, you know? Without cause. I mean, in other words, we could go, you know what? We don't want to do this anymore. Again, this is the boilerplate stuff, but you know,
So.
I would think that if he's,
it-
chances are he's gonna come back and amend.
And then that,
I
which is
would-
fair game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying.
okay.
That's okay.
I,
He's dealt with municipalities before, I imagine, so this is nothing new.
so the
I'm good.
insurance limits,
I'm not there yet.
okay.
It's all right. The select board signs this, or we?
Both of us,
Okay,
they have already signed. You'll see that when you get to them.
that's great.
They signed it last week.
Okay. All right, here's the insurance.
Yeah, I know that this is what the town.
3 million
typically
is
asks for.
fine. I'm sure he carries that. That's pretty basic.
And probably what they do is extend their limits over to us, you know.
Well, they sent us sure.
Yeah,
It says here, we got it. And we're gonna name you as official insured.
right, right.
Now, 22. I don't understand. This is sloppy. 22 shouldn't be there. Am I wrong?
Town through the trust agrees to make all these budgets to
Yeah,
pay
I
to
know.
them. Okay, so the
It's
question
NA.
is, it's not applicable
Correct.
because of the one on the front.
Exactly.
You know,
So I don't know
number
whether we
3.
strike it. I don't know.
Or-
Aaron, or who's talking to, is Eric talking to Adam about this? I mean, I don't want to just say it's
It's been
gone.
done through the Board of Selectmen.
All I'm
We-
saying is that
So it's moot.
it's moot. Okay,
So
so maybe
I-
just leave it alone.
That's what that was my thought.
All right, it just contradicts, the premise that we're not paying anything,
We're not paying
He's paying
anything,
us.
that's true. So that,
right? All the money comes in, he deducts from the gross amount from the stumpage, all the lumber. He deducts his costs and his fee, he gets a certain amount depending on what kind of wood it is. And then what's left over comes to the trust. We don't pay for him for anything.
it says there shall be no further costs due the contractor unless said fees and or costs are so set forth.
Right.
So
Exactly,
if he
that's
came
why
back, which is why I didn't think 22, I mean, I think it's moot.
it's moved, so we can leave it alone.
But I left it there in case he would. There
Hey, I
could be
thought you guys were gonna
something.
pay for my fuel.
It has to be in writing ahead of time and
Right, it's not in the
we would
original
have to.
contract.
Yeah.
All the rest at the end is definitely all over the place. I'm familiar.
So really, it's that date, the 2024 should be
Yeah,
2025.
that's,
Because we had wanted this contract last summer.
yeah.
You mean 2026 instead of 2025?
No, on number 5, it says June 30, 2024, which is like 2 months from
I'd
now.
almost give him the summer. I mean, I don't want to make a mess out of this, but I would almost say, let it go. Yeah, let him come back. If he says, I can't schedule it then, I can do it by the end of the summer.
The thing, it's a fiscal year thing,
Right.
Our fiscal year, not his.
not his, the
Right.
town's fiscal year.
All right, we can do this. And like I say, he's gonna come back anyway, I would think.
What page are you looking at? Just so I can.
It's the second page, and it's number 5.
Number 5,
Okay.
term of contract and time for performance.
Okay, perfect.
So, all right, so let's leave that. He might come back and say, hey, guys, I can't promise you that.
So we want it by 2025.
And if he can't, then we'll just have to kind of circle back and we'll decide if we want to extend it and find out how long.
Right.
And we may want to look at the cost of lumber at that point, because as I said a year ago, it changes.
Yeah,
Revisit.
that's true.
Okay.
So my question is this example clerk certificate. The second to last page of this. The undersigned being the shareholders of the town of Townsend. I couldn't quite figure out why we have this example clerk certificate here that Teresa Morris signed as the clerk of the Board of Selectmen. I wasn't sure what the point was there. That was my only question at the end.
I didn't even notice this.
I looked at this and thought, huh?
Yeah, I know, because I looked, I don't have no idea.
And then I looked at the back, certificate of signatures. You need the president's signature or clerk's certificate dated no more than 2 years ago with LLC need manager's signature. The good faith, the non-collusion, okay, that's fine. Insurance certificate, yes, we need that. Certificate of tax compliance, yes. Signed by contractor, matches, and nobody gets this. This is just the checklist and a certificate of good standing from the Secretary of State, fine. But I'm not sure what that is.
It doesn't seem really.
Yeah, because he, anyway, okay. But the clerk's certificate was a surprise to me. So I wasn't sure what to do with that.
I can see if it's necessary. I'm not sure.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure.
So those are our questions before we sign. And the other question is, do we all 5 have to sign or just the chairman and the co-chairman or the chairman and the clerk? So which of us signs this?
My assumption would be that it would be the chairperson.
The chairperson, okay, because there's 2 places here.
Then I would probably do the chair and the clerk.
And the clerk, okay.
That'd be my assumption, but I can also clarify it.
Okay, so yeah, find that out. And then we'll have to go into the office and sign it if these changes can, particularly the date. And again, it's a fiscal year thing. So I don't know. It's like next fiscal.
I
Do you
know,
see what I'm saying?
I know, we don't know a lot of time.
So,
You have the authority at the time that you sign the contract, and that it should be enforced. I would think so.
I would,
It would be binding.
yeah.
That would be my assumption as well.
Yeah, so, okay, all right. So Aaron will check in with Eric on the contract and then we'll come in and sign. He may have to get I don't know if he has to get the Board of Selectmen to sign again.
Most likely, yes. If it's
Yeah.
a change in contract, even if something small as the date, then probably.
That's in A too.
No, the town accountant does have to sign. They do,
That we have available funds that we're funding this, we're not. funding
Certified.
this.
but they'll bring it, she'll be taking the funds in. So.
Oh, taking it in, but this is availability of
Availability
funds
of
as
funds.
though we were paying a contract.
But she still needs to sign. If
Okay.
she doesn't sign, there will be problems.
Okay, understood.
Um,
I hope that
so-
he has a good attorney because it's gonna confuse the heck out of him. Okay,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
all right, so we just need to clean this up and we'll sign it when?
When Aaron calls us to come in and sign.
Yeah, so I'd rather do that than wait another month or two.
Right. It would be good, actually, they could even put it on a Board of Selectmen meeting and we could attend and
Mhm.
sign. And that would be fine.
Okay.
But I will ask Eric.
Okay. All right, so that's done. All right. The commercial, so I'm gonna move on to the Commercial Conversion Initiative, which was a memo that Aaron wrote and put in for us. And this is for turning underutilized buildings into housing, is that it?
Yes, although, after looking at it, I don't know if Townsend would necessarily be the best candidate for this grant.
Mhm.
But I wrote about another one down below it, which is technical assistance, for looking at different municipal owned properties and how to turn them into affordable housing.
Okay, so existing buildings,
Property, it says.
property.
Yes,
Mhm.
so it could be something such as a building, like if they decided they didn't want the library anymore. for
Okay.
some reason, And they wanted to turn it into housing, then they could provide technical assistance for us to look at that. Or if we have property such as open land, they can also take a look at that and so what happened with where is it? Wareham, maybe?
Mhm.
Is they took a parcel of land, they helped develop an RFP for that parcel and connected the town with a contractor to help develop that land. So there are other opportunities there. I think that Townsend might be in a good spot to look at that. Based on, I don't think that we have our 10% affordable, correct?
We do 4%, yeah.
No,
I'm still learning.
And we have empty buildings around town.
Yeah, so, might be in a
Yes, we
good
do.
opportunity.
And we have our properties, which.
Right.
So, yeah,
So we can look into that.
I think we should. When's the due date? Did you say
So that-
June?
So this one is accepted on a rolling basis, so we can apply it anytime. It does require a 10% cash match. So if we were to put together, something for, working with Mass Housing to do this, they do require that 10%. I'm not sure if that, I'd have to talk to them and read a little bit more about the program. I just kind of did an overview.
Hmm.
But that could be a good option. Especially because it is an environmental justice community here, so that gives us another sort of point in our looking for technical assistance from them. They're more likely to give it to us.
Okay.
So that's good. And then there was another.
Was it one stop?
There's also a one stop
Um,
that is due in June.
that's the one I was thinking of.
Yes, the revive districts and surplus property. Yes. Did I not? Sorry.
Okay, so commercial, you did include it in our,
What I sent out.
in what you sent out.
Yeah.
It's this one, and
Yes.
it just stopped printing.
So that one is due June 5th. So we still have some time to put that together. That is, for looking at property reuse and redevelopment. So once again, that's technical assistance. So it says it includes feasibility studies, RFPs, district redevelopment strategies, corridor studies, and forming district improvement financing districts. So it pays for third-party consultants to assist with whatever sort of planning aspects we want to do. So this doesn't actually pay for building of housing, but it's
Right.
for if we want to do a feasibility
That's-
study, or if we
okay.
wanted to maybe even do sort of a plan for a specific property.
My thought, what's my road on that piece of property? If MHP is not interested in doing that, I think we should look at that. property.
Which one did Laura, when did they look at, while we were away? Which one?
The one on Elm Street and Flood Road, that's 7 acres. And actually, do you want to put up the
Sure.
Laura's pictures, Laura Schufelt's pictures? They did a surprise site walk. I mean, I read it at 7:30 at night. They sent it at 4:30, and they were going to be there at 9 a.m. the next morning. And none of us could be there, nor could Jessica. And so they went and site walked themselves.
So what was their take on it?
They had seen on a map, and Laura's going to put it up there. They saw this blue line. So that piece of property isn't all of ours because there's development on it. But right there, see that blue line coming through? That was and the property is ours. I'm not sure what the orange is. I really don't know what the orange is on that.
They did this, this is.
They did,
Okay.
yeah, Laura Schufelt sent that
So
to
what's
us.
the blue line
The
represent?
blue line represents water.
I thought so.
So they said it's going right through the middle. So roll the next one up.
Is this seasonal or is this like,
Well, they went out to sea and that's what they saw. You can see the wet.
yeah.
That's what that blue line is.
Mhm.
And it's like it's a stream, not quite a stream, but just
Could
wet.
be it could be a.
So does that mean we'd be subject to the setbacks?
Yes.
And so what does that shrink us down to?
So they were going to have a wetland scientist look at it. This was in March, maybe, no more than a month ago. March 10th, 17th,
March 21st.
March 21st.
Was it really wet then? We were out of town. Was it-
It's the way it's been
It's
this
been
year,
there,
you know,
yeah.
it wasn't anything, oh, this is new, you know, it's this kind
Okay, so
Like that photograph of it looks pretty, like, I'll bet this isn't the first year it's been there.
of. Right, exactly.
yeah.
This isn't new. I mean, it looks wet. So they found the water on the property. And so they were gonna have the wetland scientists evaluate.
do we have any idea
I
when
get
that's
that.
gonna happen?
I believe it supposedly already happened. We're just waiting to hear back.
Okay.
I think.
Yes, we haven't had, this was really the last communication that we got from Laura until today. And we kept saying, well, we have this meeting on the 22nd,
Yeah.
we have this meeting on the
All right, we'll
22nd.
get caught.
And so she'll send us a report later today.
Mhm.
So hopefully.
Where's
yeah.
our access point to the property? Where's
We
where's
have
the road?
frontage, we have frontage on West Elm. It's where we allowed the pumping station.
Is that
easement.
West Elm this way?
It's this way,
Or-
yeah, and Blood is that way.
Okay.
So we have, I don't know, 600 feet, maybe more on Blood, and I think it's 400
Mhm.
on West Elm. Because we could give away that easement in the back for
Mhm.
the pumping station without losing frontage
Mhm.
abilities.
Mhm.
Is there still like a pretty good chunk of land over like on this side, on Blood Road, yeah, right in. there.
Yeah, that's our 4 acres and the other one is like 2.5 or,
That's why I
Yeah,
wanted to
so-
understand the front.
So if that's
Yeah.
like 4 acres, is that orange
I
line,
don't
is that
know.
like the buffer for the?
I think that's the
wet?
setback. I think
The
they were going
setback
here.
for
This
the-
is your worst case scenario.
Yeah,
If this is truly wet,
Mhm.
this is all blocked
you
in.
know, so,
Right.
so it looks kind of bad, but but there's still a
There's
lot of,
still
on
space,
Blood Road, there's
on-
still.
Yeah.
you
plenty
know,
on Blood Road, right?
Yeah.
So,
So, all right, we gotta wait and get, hear
See
what they
what they
say
have
and then
to
see what
say.
we net for space and.
so doing the grant that Aaron was suggesting, maybe we could do that for South Road Road. It means we'd have 2 projects
at the same
being
time.
looked at the same time. And we're all new at this.
That's
So
what
we
I'm
were
thinking too.
kind of hoping that MHP would kind of hold our hand through the first time
Yeah,
before we, you know,
which I think is
jumped
smart.
to another one.
I think that's smart.
So maybe we just wait out MHP. I saw Margaret Scarsdale on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was telling her we were having difficulty hearing back. And she said, I'll talk to them for you.
Good.
But I wanted to wait until,
We talked to Laura.
till hopefully, you know, give them a chance to
Yeah.
get back to us before we,
Yeah.
you know, kick it up a level. So,
Should we put a, no, I think it's good to wait. I think we should just do one thing at a time. Because like you said, like I know myself, I'm a novice, you know, and I'd hate to like find myself, oh my goodness, what the heck are we, but at the same time. Like, we're gonna get from MHP,
I don't know.
You know.
I hope today,
you know, yeah,
Yeah.
so hopefully we'll. hear from
just
them
for
soon.
status
And then-
even, you know,
Yeah.
this is where it is. We're moving along. We're, you know, we haven't forgotten you.
Well, if it's not too difficult and kind of all the pieces are in place, I don't see the problem with looking at 2 at once, just to have a couple in the pipeline in case something.
That's what I'm afraid, like, what if they
That's-
come and say, oh, and guess what, this isn't gonna work for you guys, and then what?
Well, then we'll do South Road.
And then do so, and then start
Then
it.
we know where to go from there.
South Row is where I would go next.
Oh, yes,
I would agree with Dave.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and just wait until we've,
until
we
we
know exactly
lay
where
out
we are.
where we are with
this
MHP.
one.
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay.
All right, so we're not applying
To either.
to either
Okay.
at this point.
Okay.
And it'll be well, the one is rolling, so we can
Yeah.
always change our mind on that. Or, you know, kick that in at any time. This other technical assistance one that's the one stop, so that means it's next year. Around this time that we can put in for that, the revive.
If they offered again, yes.
Yes, that's the thing.
So
Uh,
one-stop programs can change from year to year. This is only, I think, the 3rd year that they've had one-stop at all. I mean,
Yes.
one-stop is just a combination of multiple grants. But I don't know if this one has been offered before. They're trying out new grants and some are coming and some are going. So we don't know.
So what's their year, when is it up? Did it just come out now?
It, yes,
So we-
probably came out just
Maybe
few weeks ago. Yeah, and then applications are due June 5th.
And that's typical how One Stop works. It comes out in March, at least last year, because I did the one with Emily, our community services person. Last year, it came out in March. We turned it in May, I think it was. It was right after I was no longer a selectman. It went in. And then you heard in June they came back to you and said, you should apply for this one. And then that was due in June.
Yes,
So,
yeah, they have the expression of interest, EOIs, and so a lot of times people will submit those. And
that's what we did.
yes, you submit that and say, this is what I'm thinking about doing, this is the program I'm thinking about applying to, and they come back and say, actually, you should maybe apply to this one, this is a better fit for you, we can give you funding through this one instead.
Yes, that's what they did to us last year.
So then for these other programs, we have until June 5th. of this year to decide.
for a
whether-
revive. And we, because there's work, it takes some work to get the
to get
grant
it
in.
together.
We really need to decide
Yeah, it's-
whether or not we want to do this so that there's time to work on the application process.
Maybe we're not ready.
And so we're taking a chance on next year, but it's possible that MHP would say, well, not this one, but we'll look at that one for you. Because there's a whole lot more land there than 7 acres, you know? If this one has constraints, they all have constraints. That was the one that we thought was no constraints.
Yeah. Little did we know that.
Yeah.
A brook running through the middle of the property.
Yeah, and I've only walked the edges of that property. I've never gone into the middle of that property. And so, so no on revived districts on the community one stop. Let's wait for MHP. Let's
Let's
play
wait.
that out. We
Let's-
started that. Let's play it out and see where it goes.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Yeah, that's the one under the power lines or whatever by the police, the fire station. So do we want to schedule a site visit there?
Sure.
And we'll just take a drive one of these days, so.
Sunny day.
Which property again?
It's the Westford,
Oh,
this.
It's the one that housing network,
Yeah.
people have been telling us, we really need to go and look at that.
We're pretty,
You know, I'll be in California from the 30th to the 7th.
Okay,
you want to do it before that or after you get back?
the 30th is like a week from today.
I know.
Oh my goodness, Cindy, okay.
So,
I can't this week
Well, then we should probably do it
after
after the 7th.
after the 7th.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do it like that week of the 7th, like,
Well, you'll need a day to,
I know, I'll probably need the 8th to be normal.
yeah, it
But,
took us a week this time. This was really hard.
oh,
How many
really?
hours was it?
It's only 5 or 6 hours, but for some reason,
Well, no, because we had a couple hour flight to London.
yeah, it was a long day, but I mean, last time we came back, we were in Greece, we came back, it was like one day, it's like, I'm fine, it was amazing.
Wow.
This time, I thought one day,
Mhm. And-
took a week, and we got sick to boot.
oh, gee.
Oh,
My vote is Thursday, the 9th.
I have a dentist appointment in the morning,
So we could do,
do
yeah,
it afternoon, yeah.
what time in the afternoon? I have a thing until 12:30 on the 9th.
So afternoon is
let's do 2.
2:00.
Sure.
It's
2 o'clock, yeah. it's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, and want to meet here? I'm not here, but
The behind town hall?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're gonna do a site visit.
I'll drive,
Okay.
and there's no cost.
Okay. So,
This is to
midnight,
the Westford House.
Westford House.
So I can get that. agenda
I could probably
posted.
do 1 o'clock if you want to, if that, because I'm at my meeting.
But
is
we
that-
have a site
It's fine.
visit.
I think- Yeah, let us have lunch.
Oh, that's okay.
Is that okay, Cindy? Did that work?
What, 2 o'clock? Yeah, 2 o'clock's
Yeah.
fine. I was gonna
Alright.
say if people want, yeah, 2 o'clock's fine.
Behind town hall. Now, if we have to post it as a site visit, do we have to allow other people to come?
Yes, it has to be open to the public.
So they'd have to follow us in their car.
We did site visits before.
Yeah, we
Do-
did.
Were we like,
I know.
I mean,
Were we violating open meeting? law?
Possibly.
So I actually don't know if you can all drive together. Because that might be a violation of open meeting law, because other people aren't in the car with you.
My goodness.
So you could drive in 2 cars, because then it wouldn't be a quorum in either car.
goodness, well,
Okay.
I didn't hear anything, did you?
No.
I don't, you know, I don't know, we can, or can we, oh, even if we, yeah, we can drive all together. If we have a microphone on or something, what can we?
That's a
we
good
can
question.
record our
I've never seen
conversation. we can do the, you know, the video thing on the phone. We can put our phone up. Yeah, we're driving to Westford.
I suppose you could do that. I don't know how Dave would feel about that, but.
No, it will be in person only, no recording.
I don't know.
I don't quite understand how a site visit is construed as.
Do they post site
An open
visits
meeting.
for
It sounds like a
conservation?
Site visit.
We never did.
But I
You're supposed to, anytime you do a site visit, unless you were going separately, it's still an open meeting.
Yeah, but we're still all going to gather there.
Yes.
So what's the difference? You're in the car.
Mhm.
So now you're in 2 cars or 4 cars. You get to the site visit. Now you get out of the car and now you're all together.
Right.
What's the difference?
So the difference, there is no difference, I guess. So if you are all gathered together, whether you're at the site visit or you're in the car,
Yeah,
you are, because other people could be at the site visit, they could show up there. But if you're in the car and there's no more seats, unless you're going to invite other people to, you know, ride on the roof or something, they're not a part of what could be part of a meeting.
but the
See-
meeting is at the site. It's a
I-
site visit. The car is just getting there.
But you could discuss it. So even if you, for instance, if you all ran into each other at the library, right? And just happened to all be in the same place, people can misconstrue that as you're having an impromptu meeting, and that is a violation. of
We'll
open
put
meeting law.
gags on.
Wow.
Well, I
It gets
think
complicated.
just posted.
This is why nothing ever
a
gets
site
done in
visit.
government.
Yeah,
I
at the
know.
Westford
I know.
housing development by the I don't even know the name of the place. By the fire
Fire
station.
station and
The trivia board.
Let's just post it and then we won't even mention how we're getting.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Because we don't know anyway.
because we don't
And
know.
we don't know.
We know nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you mean.
It's
it.
all
complicated.
It's done.
Very good. May 9th, 2 p.m. Conservation never posts their site visits. They don't post them.
I know, and how do they?
Never
do
have.
Sidewalks and things.
They do what we just did.
Right.
At the table, they say, okay, it's gonna be here, and no one ever even, people drive together with other conservation commissioners.
So long as it's not a quorum, it's okay.
All right, who wants to stay home?
I know, I know, you know, I know, I have not been to this, but I know where it is and I have seen like the cottages, so if you guys want to go
You
together.
think it's worth going then?
Probably, I've never been inside the development.
Oh, you just know
It's right
where.
off of, like Boston Road,
Yeah,
it's right off of Boston Road, when you come off of 495.
yeah.
It's right there. The fire station's there, like if you come off of 495, we're usually coming down north, from the north. You turn on Boston Road and the fire station is on your left and there's a road there.
Right
And you
there.
can see the roofs of the things and you can see the power lines. The power lines go right over.
How big a development is it?
I haven't been in it. I think it's kind of big.
It is kind of
I
big.
think it's big.
But I don't have my notes with me. I didn't bring.
So it's very dense then, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very dense and it looks like small cottages.
That's what it is.
That are all put together. So I
want to say 46, but I don't know if that's the
yeah,
right number.
it's pretty big and
Okay.
it's right there. It sits right by like 495 and the power lines in Boston Road. But, so I don't mind if this gets too convoluted, I'm fine.
Just
do
post
my
it
own-
as a site visit
And everyone can go.
and everyone can go. That's all. End of discussion.
Right.
Right.
So,
All right.
but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
because in case I'm still jet lagged on Thursday, maybe I'll be like, I'm gonna stay home anyways. So,
Okay, moving on, Housing Institute. This is MHP's Housing Institute, June 12th and 13th.
Right.
It's down in Worcester. We talked about it. I'd like to go. I think we all should go if we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, I would like to go. I would go.
We've even gone down to Clark University for conservation meetings. A bunch of us all in the car. Why take, a bunch of different cars? Anyway, okay,
So have you registered?
I have not registered yet.
I haven't either. I looked at it this morning.
Yeah.
I know, I haven't either. But I would like to go, but
So
none of it's Zoom, it's all in person.
It's
right?
all in person this year. I think that's good.
Get us out of our little things.
So, I don't know. Are you guys interested in going 2 days, 1 day?
I don't know.
what are the hours? Is it like 12 to 3 or?
I didn't print that one out. So I have an email, but.
It's all-
9 to
I
4.
do too.
Nine to four. But we should,
Well, they have different, what, have they posted like what they're doing each day? Because it must be different.
I don't know if
I
they
can't
posted
remember if
content.
they did.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Hold on, I can go find
Okay.
it.
We like do a full day the first day and not days. That's fun, or vice versa, something like that.
Well, that's why I was-
Depending on what the agenda.
Well, yeah,
What they have, yeah, because some of the things, I mean.
when
I
two of
would-
us go one day and two of us go the other day, and then get a chance to compare notes and say, all right, you went to these,
Oh,
what
that's
you learned, you went
I-
to these.
I think too, like some of the things like, at least on the Zoom ones, some of the projects, it was interesting and it's probably good to go. So I shouldn't even say this, but some of them I was like, that doesn't even, that has no value for us in
Right.
terms of,
Well, that's right, so we should look at. the agenda.
yeah, that's what I.
Sorry that I haven't.
So the sites, the sessions are, there's housing for families, using data to bolster your pro-housing message, running effective municipal board and commission meetings, or the plenary session. And then there's site visits to a place to live in the Worcester Housing Authority and District 120.
You're wrong.
And then there's breakout sessions for community land trusts, policy and practice, affordable housing finance,
That's good.
accessory dwelling units, best practices, identifying and disposing of public land for affordable housing, myth busting, water, sewer, wastewater, and housing, supportive housing 101, affirmatively furthering fair housing, what it means and how communities can support fair housing. Chapter 40B, look at the past and the present, building local coalitions for affordable housing, and tackling the housing shortage and climate crisis, the opportunity of transit-oriented multifamily developments. And that looks like it.
So all of that last section, the beginning ones, not so
Yeah,
much,
that's-
Yeah, but
up to where the site visit and all that.
Mhm.
But the stuff after that was good. So what day is that?
It doesn't say, these are just
Oh.
the sessions that are available.
Oh, these are just,
Okay.
there's no schedule yet.
Not that I see.
No, but they must post this.
Yeah, maybe we should just register and.
We should register for the whole thing.
And then
And then
we
we
can
can
decide
choose.
which we
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's do that.
Yeah, it says a full agenda with detailed schedule for both days will be available in the coming week.
Okay.
All right, so.
So should we, what's the fee for the conference? And should we have you, just register the four of us? And Chaz, if he's interested,
Sure. It is $150 for both days per person.
okay?
I can see if I can register you all.
And then,
Should we register Chaz too,
Well, that's,
or just ask him if he's available and interested?
yeah, let's ask him if he's available and interested. He asked me, you guys probably don't know this, he asked me to go to some MMA meeting on affordable housing with him on Saturday. So I'm gonna go, it's in Northampton, I think it
You've been there.
is, so, yes. Yeah, so
Oh, good.
Saturday morning, 9 to 12 or something like that. So we're gonna go. So, yeah, register us all and ask Chaz if he's interested, and if he is, register all of us. And, that should work. All right, June 12 and 13. And then we can figure out, let's say, publish, if it's, morning, afternoon, both days, blah, blah, blah. Review financial reports, you have those numbers there, and I didn't print that one.
Yes.
This-
Yes, it's
Yeah.
that.
They have a couple more copies if anybody.
I'll take a copy. February
With these,
and
the
March.
bank statements.
So we have, do you have them over there? Did
I
you-
don't, no, I don't.
I can pull them up.
But that's,
We have $102,629.36 as of the end of March.
so good.
So the 600 will pay for this registration.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Nice.
There's some of the interest.
Yeah, I think I looked at this quick online,
Yeah, I did too, and I did.
And this is as of March or April?
That's at the end of
End of
March.
March, okay.
So February is there too, but we don't have, we don't have April. All right.
Good.
Any correspondence?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
I did print this out for. It's in the packet, so whoever grabbed the packet. And then I have a couple of these. This is from, this is a planning board legal notice.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I have nothing. From industrial to residential, Greenville Road.
No,
What property is it?
Hmm.
ADSD Realty.
So does that mean that ADSD Realty wants to develop this as a residential?
That's the way I would read the
Lots.
exactly.
So this is the property. It's very small in here, but
How many acres is it, do you know?
this 6.5 for 39 Greenville.
Okay. What's the residential there? Is it 2 acre lots, 3 acre lots? Do we know?
can we get a copy, can we access these as a database? While we're sitting there, I can't on my phone.
So it's.
It's by the dump. I think it's just up from the entrance to the dump.
Seriously, yeah.
On that same side?
Yes.
Is that where they wanted to put the motocross thing?
No,
No.
no, motocross was on the other side of the street. But I would expect that that's what this is for. That it was industrial. It's by the dump.
It says that it's zoning industrial. But let's see what. They're all labeled as industrial. Oh, this one's 3 acres across the surface.
How many acres?
3.
So it's
Three
one,
acres.
probably one, can't give.
That's one of the properties. There are two properties, aren't there?
Um,
Yeah, adjacent property, there's two.
And I think coming down, is that the dump coming down? That cleared area? I'm pretty sure that this is next to the dump.
says former municipal. Yes, owner town of Townsend.
Mhm.
And why is it a good idea to amend it from industrial to residential? Is there an argument for that? The reason why I ask is because that area seems like next to the dump. Let it be industrial and raise the taxes for the town. I mean, it's helps the tax base, no?
Taxes are the same for every category in town. So it doesn't raise the tax base in that respect. It just, it takes away from,
Potential house.
it takes away from potential business or,
Industrial.
industrial business, yeah. And I'm trying to remember, is that one of the places that you could put a cannabis store? There were certain places in town,
Yeah,
where you
Skittles
could-
Lane, and I think,
it might have been out
Yeah.
there. I'd have to look at that.
hmm,
Those are firing noms from many years ago, when we did the zoning for
yeah,
marijuana, the marijuana bottle. And there were properties in town where you could do it, that met
Yeah,
You mean in terms of retailing it or growing it?
either. Yeah, okay. Either.
it's too bad. And now that whole business is so saturated that someone that would want to open one, even if it was allowed in this town, would be out of their minds.
It is allowed in this town. It's only allowed there are certain areas, like you couldn't be near a church or near a school or, near a place where.
And the kids will never find it. I'll never know. They,
the kids or the grown-ups.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
I am
it's-
certain that we looked at that as one, one of the possibilities.
Well, are you thinking that it's something that we want to acquire? It sounds to me like
No,
these guys want
no.
to build. They want
They
to,
want to build houses,
So
yeah,
how-
that would be my guess. This is just to let us know. They aren't asking for comment, are they?
I don't believe so, unless you want to comment.
Yeah,
Maybe we are, I guess.
just to let people know what they do. I don't know. I mean, I probably don't have any opinion on it.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an opinion, but you took it away when you said the tax base hasn't changed.
It doesn't
Yeah.
change, it really doesn't.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so, no matter how you're zoned, the taxes are the same in the town of Townsend.
yeah.
And there's really you'd have to have Vicky give you the whole, the whole spiel, but we don't have enough industry to.
Yeah.
Support anything.
And sometimes we need residential's easy, because we're 25 minutes on a good ride to any major highway, so it's hard for industry and business to come to Townsend,
Right.
Oh, we had a perfectly good railroad track. Now what?
Yeah,
So maybe it's better if it goes residential and get some housing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I remember moving to Townsend 150 years ago, or something like that.
You don't look like a day over
Yeah,
100.
exactly, with a big sign right on the E13 Brookline Townsend border. Welcome to Townsend, partners in progress with plastics.
Really?
Yep. 1974.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, and you had Grant and you had Sterilite.
Sterilite, right?
Wow. Where was Grant?
They were where Evans is now.
Interesting. I heard the train ran until the early 1980s.
It did.
Yeah,
It did.
you know, so. And I know when I moved to town, but not much longer, the big push was they were like, no, that commuter line in Fitchburg, you're gonna get to Boston in like 45 minutes.
Well,
I'm still waiting 38 years later.
if you ever look at the town, I just, for the first time, did over the weekend, looked at the Townsend Facebook page, this Growing Up in Townsend is the name of the page. And I don't know if you guys remember Bob Tumber, but he owned a package store in West Townsend.
It's great.
Apparently his daughter said that he made up this book of memories from Townsend. And one of them was pictures of the last train going through Townsend.
Oh,
What she was
wow.
there for and all that. And I'll tell you, it was a pretty cool looking train. And I thought,
Yeah.
wow, imagine
I
this.
know, he was, had so much amazing information on Townsend and history of Townsend
yeah.
and photographs and, yeah, I used to love his store. I go in
Yep,
with
yep.
my kids and it was like a package store, but he gave pretzels to the kids and then he'd be like, hey, you wanna see something? And he would show you like these old pictures
He's a
and,
great guy.
yeah, he was great. He was just great, you know, so. I can tell you one more story. I was at a doctor's office in Cambridge and I was taking my mother and the doctor's mother was working behind the desk. She was very nice. She was an older woman. She was probably Bob's age. And she was an older woman and she was like, you're from Townsend? And I said, yes. She was like, well, I'm from Jamaica Plain. But she said, I don't know if it was during the war or at some point, she said, there was a program where they took kids from the city. It was girls, and it was a girls' camp on Vinton Pond.
That was a Girl Scout camp.
Yes, and she said, we got to spend like 2 or 3 weeks in the summer out of the city.
Yeah, that was.
And
Like
she
a fresh
said-
air fund in New York.
And exactly, and she said, and the boys from Townsend would come on their bikes. And they would ride on the handlebars down to the band concerts in
Oh, how cool.
in West Townsend, because they had band concerts in West
Right.
Townsend. And I was like, wow, and she's telling me this whole story and everything. So what do? I go home, I go to West Side Package. I'm like, hey, Bob. Bob's like, are you kidding me? She was on Jamaica Plain. He said, and he knew the whole story and he told me the whole thing about how this is what they used to do in the summertime. And I was like, oh my goodness. So it's funny, small world, small world. So. Anyways, I digress. Sorry. it was
Yeah,
just-
back to the meeting.
Good story.
Correspondence, was that it? Was that the only, I don't have any. Anybody else have anything? Okay, we are all set. Our next meeting is May 20th. Does that work for everybody at 1? I'm just going by the third,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the third, yeah.
the
Yeah.
third Monday that we
Yeah.
talked about way
Yeah.
back when. We tried to
Sure.
kind of make it regular. So, okay, May 20th at 1 PM works, and I switched the meeting to May 16th, the joint meeting.
So we'll do that first.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
guys all there?
May 16th.
Because it wasn't, there wasn't anything to talk about.
Yeah,
Really, we didn't have anything new. We haven't met since the last time we met.
6 o'clock.
and that's, yes.
6 PM at Town Hall on the 16th.
Okay.
And right now, we're in the Selectmen's Chambers too. So Aaron can check and make sure with Sabrina.
Good.
That we've got that. And that is it.
All right.
So,
Alrighty,
is
so
there a motion to adjourn? Unless anybody has anything else. Okay, motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn at 2:12. Yeah.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, that's it, you guys.